Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and to my Devil's Epic series. Today's episode is all about Elisabeth Delmas Sissi from Code Lyoko. Elisabeth, or as we all know her as Sissi, is a Catholic Academy student, daughter of the principal and a former member of the Lyoko Warriors. Her time as a member was brief, but again never forgave her. But she was right in getting her father in gym. Sana is dangerous and she had every reason to be frightened. Sana literally gigantified a teddy bear and ran amok through the town. Jeremy wanted to mess around with something dangerous so that he could be close to an AI, who we later discovered to be an actual human being trapped in Lyoko, episode 51 to be exact. And he didn't seem to care about the consequences because he can just return to the past, at least in the beginning seasons. Like I said, Sissi was part of the Lyoko Warriors for a brief and forgotten time. Forgotten because of the return to the past, also known as Sissi's character development killer. While she was on the team, she never went to Lyoko because she was scared. But Sana still attacked her and almost permanently devirtualized her in real life. Waking up from the nurse's office, the first thing on her mind was her so-called friend's safety. Because if she was attacked with a ball of lightning, then what could have happened to them? He was very worried, so she tells her father and Jim about the factory and the supercomputer and that Jeremy found it, that it was dangerous and took them to it. She was relieved to see Ulrich, Odd and Jeremy safe, and was very rude to Yumi, who had just joined the group. He was met with anger because how dare Sissi betray them and tell her father that the reason she got hurt was because of something they found and were doing. He gets kicked out of the group and Jeremy uses Return to the Past. Why did they continue using the supercomputer after someone almost got permanently devirtualized, you ask? Simple. Jeremy fell in love with an AI. And well, yes, later on, near the end of season 2, we find out that Aelita is a real human being. They didn't know that in the beginning. He was just an AI for almost 2 whole seasons, whom they were risking the safety of the entire planet because Jeremy had feelings for her. You would think that after the whole Teddy Bear Kaiju episode, which was literally episode 1, that they would stop messing around with Lyoko. After Sissi almost got whacked by Sana when she was still a part of the team. But no, they had to play hero. And Sissi is always the bad guy, even when they started, especially Odd. They literally faked a letter in one occasion to get Sissi to show up to take a picture of her and Herb, to give to the journalists in the school to put in their school newspaper. And then Millie and Tamiya wonder why Sissi doesn't want to talk to them when they show up as their reporter selves. Not to mention that Odd literally placed a camera in her bedroom and caught her in her underwear, and goddess knows what else, to humiliate her in his film, which according to Sissi in this episode he always makes her look bad in them. But sure, Sissi is the one in the wrong here. It's not like Sissi hasn't risked her life multiple times for them and shown them that there is more to her and that she's actually not that bad of a person. I mean, she's not the best person either, but she's not the worst either. She has shown them multiple times, but she cannot remember any of those times. But you know who does remember every single time that she has saved them or protected them or done something good for them? The Lyoko Warriors. And they still don't give her a chance. They still don't forgive her, or the very least get Odd to stop being really creepy around her. Millie and Tamiya. She doesn't like talking to them when they are snooping around, because they sometimes, well, they spread a lot of lies a lot of times, and they don't verify their sources most of the times either. They even posted a picture of Ulrich and Odd without their consent that Yumi gave them, that she took while they were coming out of the showers. If I'm not mistaken about the showers part, not the picture. That I'm certain of. He cares about them though. We've seen that in more than one occasion when the girls and Odd got stuck in the school as it was collapsing because of Sana. He was terrified and worried about their safety, but he couldn't do anything about that. He couldn't help them. In episode 40, which is the episode when the zombies attack, thanks to, again, Sana, when the zombies attacked, she told the zombies to stay away from Millie and was trying to protect her. Hence why, when they returned to the past, the Warriors defended Sissi from Millie's remark that they had agreed with prior to the zombie night, because they know for a fact that Sissi would legit risk her life to defend them and to try to keep them safe. But that's not enough for them to try to reconcile with her and give her another chance. Like, this girl literally put herself in front of a zombie horde to protect Millie, to keep her safe. They see that, and that's like, nope, not enough. He may not like that they are always snooping and has been mean to them, like in the episode where she embarrasses Millie in front of her 2 followers and the Lyoko Warriors because she was too young and wouldn't get a date, and Ulrich rejected her in front of everyone. But considering he seems to only act this way when they are mostly in reporter mode, is quite telling. People think Sissi is stupid and needs to sprout a brain. And what if part of the reason is Millie and Tamia and their newspaper? They clearly don't care about consent, hence publishing for what seems to be an incriminating photo of Odd and Ulrich without their consent and spreading rumors around the school. He's not all that bad. In episode 14, she wanted to buy Aelita a Prezi because she overheard them wishing her a happy birthday, and this was when she was stuck in the computer. She literally thought they were talking to a computer program. He also defended them when Herb and Nicholas were mocking them for celebrating their computer's birthday. He also mended Ulrich's arm in that episode. She saved Odd and almost got permanently devirtualized with him by a possessed crowd. He was so grateful at what she did for him that he changed the way he was going to be portrayed in his film. Which, may I remind you, he had snuck a camera in her room, pointed at her bed, and recorded her without her consent or knowledge. And also caught her in her undergarments too. He was more than happy to pretend to be Yumi to help her with the school photo, and expected nothing in return. He got caught, but it's the thought that counts. In Season 1, Episode 32, he supported her friend who is a drummer and wanted to try out for Odd's band, who didn't want to accept him out of spite because Nicholas is friends with Sissi and he hates her. Despite knowing that she is hated by Odd and friends, he still went to support her friend and to remind Odd that everyone is supposed to get a fair chance at joining his band. Also in that episode, there was a huge problem, thanks to Sana, a potential nuclear disaster, and they still continue to mess with Lyoko after that. He organizes a meeting with the students to get their phones back, to form a strike, and also a Free Yumi movement when her father takes her away. And as we know, he doesn't really like Yumi, because they both have feelings for Ulrich. This was episode 9. If I'm not mistaken, it was episode 9. In episode 41, when her father gets possessed, she doesn't believe Aelita and Jeremy, but she still helps them by lying to the authorities and having the school evacuated with a supposed bomb threat her father made. They don't let her in the group after this and still treat her the same way. He also knocks Jeremy out cold to help Aelita. In episode 46, while she was annoyed at first in the episode because Aelita was having nightmares and was screaming and woke her up, when she sees Aelita crying, she is genuinely concerned for her well-being. Because it's understandable, like somebody keeps waking you up because they're screaming in the middle of the night, you're gonna get annoyed. But she still cared enough about Aelita when she saw her crying and didn't know what to do at the moment either. In multiple occasions, they had mocked Sissi, completely unprovoked. Episode 7, 24, 36, and 50, for example. Meanwhile, in episode 69, she saves Ulrich's life and was willing to fall off a building so that he would be safe. Despite her having blackmailed Ulrich with his diary, she apologizes and offers to help him when the bus they were on goes crazy and starts speeding. That was episode 4. Sissi exposing Lyoko. He may be the first to expose Lyoko. Well, besides Jeremy, who exposed it to Ulrich, who in turn exposed it to Odd by kidnapping Kiwi to use him as a test subject, and Yumi forced her way by not letting Ulrich leave and him having to take her. But let's not forget that Yumi too wanted to expose Lyoko. For good reason, there was a potential nuclear disaster about to happen, and Jeremy didn't want her to do it. Ulrich had a whole diary where he wrote everything about Lyoko, which Sissi later stole to blackmail him with. That was a very unhinged thing for her to do. Odd and Ulrich took Sam to the lab in episode 23, and then Odd led a total stranger into the lab because she's pretty and he had a crush on her. He messed up the supercomputer too. And you know what happened to him? Nothing. He was still in the team and they didn't do a return to the past. Because no reason was given except Jeremy saying, "Now you see why I'm not worried about the supercomputer, Odd." That's what Jeremy tells him when Odd got upset that Olga, the girl that he brought into the supercomputer, didn't say goodbye to him. Odd is not only forgiven because the others were either jealous of him or Olga, despite him breaking their promise. Meanwhile, Sissi reports it to her father and Jim because she almost died and was worried about her friend's safety, and she is never forgiven. In the final episode, they finally accept her as a friend. Or do they really? He did after all put a tracker on Ulrich and was going to expose their crimes. Jeremy, why do you have such a detailed video diary about every single thing you have ever done regarding Lyoko? And it also can be seen as them just saying they'll be her friends to get her off their backs so she never finds out the truth again. In conclusion, I'm not saying that she's perfect, clearly she's not. She has had her share of mean moments, like taunting Yumi, blackmailing Ulrich, telling Aelita to go back to her country, knocking Aelita over a doll, trying to steal information on Jeremy's computer, the whole putting a tracker on Ulrich in the last episode, and making Millie cry. She's certainly not perfect, but I am saying that any and all character development that she could have had was ruined by the constant attacks by Sana and the Lyoko Warriors' heavy use on the return to the past. All she wanted was to be part of the group, and because of something that she can't even remember doing, something that was literally unwound, because they used return to the past, and what she did wasn't even mean-spirited either. In fact, Yumi did the exact same thing. Only difference is that when it comes to Sissi's case, she's the only one that got hurt. With Yumi's case, a lot of people were gonna get hurt, including all the Lyoko Warriors, but they won't accept her. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to watch my video. Leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you like to see more. If you have any characters that you think would fit into the Devil's Advocate series, do mention them down in the comments below. Have a lovely day or night. Until next time, bye bye!